You know, people love to talk about motivation. Stay motivated. Find your why. Keep your fire burning. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. Motivation is overrated. Yeah, I said it. Because motivation feels good. It's that rush you get after watching an inspiring video, hearing a great speech, or setting a big goal. But motivation is a moment. Discipline is a lifestyle. See, motivation is easy to fall in love with. It's that rush you get when you watch an inspiring video or hear someone tell you, you can be anything you want to be. It's that spark in your chest that makes you feel unstoppable for a moment. But here's the truth: most people don't want to hear motivation fades. It's fragile. It depends on how you feel, and feelings change every day. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. It's steady. It's that quiet force that keeps you moving when every part of you wants to stop. Think about it. We've all had that first day energy. You start something new. A workout plan, a business idea, a class, a commitment to eat better. On day one, you're fired up. You tell yourself, this time it's different. You got the gear, the playlist, the plan. You post about it. You feel good. That's motivation. It's beautiful, but it's not enough. Because day 20 doesn't care how motivated you were on day 1. Day 20 is cold, early, uncomfortable. Day 20 asks, are you serious about this? Or were you just excited? That's where discipline steps in. Discipline doesn't shout. It doesn't need applause. It's not about hype or hashtags. It's about quiet decisions made in the dark. The decision to get up when it's easier to hit snooze, to show up when no one's watching, to stay the course when progress is slow. Motivation is emotional, but discipline is spiritual. It's something deeper. It comes from a promise you make to yourself and keep. I remember hearing about a man who decided to run a marathon. He trained for months. In the beginning, he felt incredible. Every run felt like victory. But somewhere around the 5th week, the excitement wore off. The runs got longer, the mornings got colder, and his body screamed at him to stop. That's when he realized something powerful. Motivation got him out the door, but discipline carried him across the finish line. Because discipline doesn't ask, do you feel like it today? It says, do it anyway. You see, the people who achieve lasting success aren't the ones who are always fired up. They're the ones who keep showing up long after the feeling is gone. The student who studies when they're exhausted. The parent who keeps pushing to provide even when life hits hard. The dreamer who keeps building when nobody believes yet. That's discipline. That's the difference between a spark and a fire. Motivation will get you started. It's the reason you take the first step. But discipline is the reason you finish. Motivation whispers, you can do it. Discipline looks you dead in the eye and says, do it anyway. And when the excitement fades, when the crowd goes home, when the only voice you hear is your own, discipline is the one that answers back. Nobody is born disciplined. Nobody just wakes up one morning with the strength to resist every distraction, to stay focused, to do the hard things day after day. No, that kind of discipline is built slowly, painfully, intentionally. It's carved out of repetition, out of struggle, out of doing the small things right over and over until they become part of who you are. People look at those who've made it, the champions, the leaders, the ones who always seem so focused, and they think they're just built different. But the truth is, they built themselves. Discipline is a muscle. You don't get it by talking about it. You get it by training it. Every time you choose effort over comfort, every time you follow through on a promise you made to yourself, that muscle grows. And just like in the gym, it hurts at first. Your mind fights back. It tells you not today. You deserve a break. But each time you push through that voice, you get stronger. You learn that you don't need to feel ready to act. You just need to act. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. That means it's not about dreaming bigger. It's about structuring your life to support those dreams. The great ones don't depend on luck or emotion. They depend on routine. They create habits that protect them from their weaker moments. Think about it. When Kobe Bryant woke up at 4 a.m. to train, he wasn't chasing motivation. He was keeping a promise that greatness would cost him something. That every ounce of success would be earned through sweat, sacrifice, and consistency. He built that discipline long before the world called him great, and that's how real transformation happens. When you train your mind to show up even when you don't feel like it, that's when you start to change. That's when your dreams stop being ideas and start becoming reality. It's not glamorous. Nobody's cheering for you while you're up late studying, while you're working extra hours, while you're saying no to distractions that everyone else says yes to. But that's where the magic is, in those quiet, unseen choices that build something strong inside you. Motivation might get you moving, but discipline keeps you grounded. Motivation is like the wind. It changes direction. Discipline is the anchor that holds you steady when the storms come, and they will come. Life will test your patience, your focus, your drive. What if you've built that discipline? You won't crumble when things get hard. You'll stand tall because you've trained yourself for it. Discipline is an emotion. It's not a mood. It's a decision. One you make every single day, sometimes every single hour. You either control your habits or your habits control you. The ones who understand that truth are the ones who build a life that lasts. A life that doesn't depend on the feeling of the moment, but on the power of their commitment. Consistency. That's the part nobody wants to talk about. Everyone loves the idea of success. They love the highlight reel, the big moments, the celebrations. But consistency, that's the quiet part. It's the grind that happens when the lights are off and nobody's cheering. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting, but it's powerful. Because consistency is the quiet killer of excuses. It doesn't argue. It doesn't boast. It just shows up. See, anybody can be disciplined for a day. Anybody can work hard when they're motivated. But consistency is what separates those who wish from those who win. It's doing the right thing not once, not twice, but every day until it becomes part of your DNA. You want to write a book. Don't wait for inspiration to strike. It won't. Sit down and write for 30 minutes every day, even when every word feels wrong. You want to get in shape. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start with 20 minutes of walking every single day. That's how you build something real. One small act of discipline repeated over time turns into something unshakable. Success isn't built in a single leap. It's built brick by brick, day after day. When nobody's watching, you won't see the progress at first. You'll look in the mirror, you'll check the numbers, and it'll feel like nothing's changing. But that's just the surface. Underneath, something is happening. Your habits are hardening, your mind is adapting, your standard is rising. And before you know it, those tiny steps have carried you miles ahead of where you started. The problem is, most people quit too soon. They stop because they don't see results fast enough. But consistency doesn't work on your timeline, it works on truth. And the truth is, real growth takes time. You can't plant a seed and expect a tree overnight. You water it, you nurture it, you trust the process. That's how consistency works. It's faith in action. It's believing that showing up today, even without results, will pay off tomorrow. And let me tell you, the real test of discipline comes when the applause fades, when there's no one around to notice your effort. That's when you find out who you really are. Because discipline isn't about performance. It's about character. It's what you do when no one's clapping, when there's no recognition, no reward, no one saying, "Good job." It's just you and your commitment staring each other down. Think about a craftsman working alone in his shop. He doesn't rush. He doesn't cut corners. He knows that mastery comes from repetition, not from bursts of inspiration. That's consistency. It's not loud, but it's lasting. And if you can learn to love the process, the daily repetition, the small, unseen victories, then you'll realize something powerful. Discipline doesn't drain you. It shapes you. The more consistent you are, the stronger you become. So when motivation fades, and it will, let consistency take over. Keep building. Keep showing up. Because in the end, the ones who succeed aren't always the most talented or the most gifted. They're the ones who kept going when no one was watching. There are only two kinds of pain in life: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You can't escape both, but you can choose which one you live with. The pain of discipline is sharp, it's immediate, it demands something from you right now. It asks for your comfort, your sleep, your pride. It's the pain you feel when you get up early instead of sleeping in, when you stay in and study while others go out, when you keep pushing even though every part of you wants to stop. That pain is real. It burns, it challenges, it stretches you, but it's temporary. it passes. And what it leaves behind is strength. The pain of regret, though, that's a different story. Regret doesn't show up right away. It's quiet at first. It waits. It lets you take the easy route, make the excuses, skip the hard things. It smiles and tells you, it's okay, you'll do it tomorrow. But one day you wake up and tomorrow is gone. The years have passed, the opportunities have faded, and all that's left is that heavy question, what if? That's the kind of pain that doesn't fade. That's the kind that lingers. The one that keeps you awake at night wishing you had been stronger, wishing you had stayed the course when you had the chance. There was a study done at Cornell University. They asked people in their 70s and 80s what they regretted most in life. You'd think they'd talk about mistakes they made, the wrong choices, the failures. But that's not what they said. The majority of them didn't regret what they did. They regretted what they didn't do. The chances they never took, the dreams they never chased, the love they never spoke, the potential they never reached because they were waiting to feel ready. They waited for motivation that never came when what they really needed was discipline. See, discipline hurts now, but regret hurts forever. Discipline is doing what's hard so that your future self can live with pride. Regret is avoiding what's hard and leaving your future self with disappointment. Every single day, you have a choice between those two kinds of pain. When you choose discipline, you might suffer for a moment, but you grow. When you choose regret, you suffer later, and there's nothing you can do to change it. You can't buy back time. You can't undo missed chances. You can't rewind the moments you let slip by because you didn't feel like it. But you can make sure that from this day forward, you don't let comfort steal your calling. You can decide right now that you'll take the pain that builds you instead of the pain that breaks you. Motivation might give you a push, but it won't carry you when life gets hard. Discipline will. Discipline is your armor against regret. It's the voice inside you that says, do it now so you don't have to wish you had later. It's not easy, but it's worth every bit of the pain. Because the pain of discipline lasts a moment, but the pain of regret can last a lifetime. There are only two kinds of pain in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You can't avoid pain. One hurts now and one hurts later. The pain of discipline is sharp but short-lived. The pain of regret is dull but endless. Discipline will cost you your comfort, your time, your excuses. It will make you sacrifice sleep, fun, sometimes even your pride. But regret costs you everything. Your peace, your confidence, your second chances. One builds you, the other breaks you. Discipline hurts because it demands something of you. It asks you to show up when you don't feel like it, to stay focused when you're tired, to keep your word when it's inconvenient. It asks you to trade what you want now for what you truly want later. That's not easy. It means saying no to comfort and yes to growth. It means getting up early when your bed feels warm, working late when no one's watching, and doing the little things that nobody celebrates. But those little moments, those painful choices, they shape you into someone powerful. They build the kind of character that can't be bought or borrowed. Regret, on the other hand, is a thief. It sneaks in quietly, disguised as rest, as procrastination, as I'll do it tomorrow. It tells you that there's plenty of time. It tells you to take it easy. But tomorrow has a way of turning into next week, then next month. And before you know it, years have slipped through your fingers. One day you look back and realize all the things you could have done, all the chances you let pass because you waited for the right moment, the right feeling, the perfect time. That's regret. The pain of knowing you had a chance and didn't take it. There was a study at Cornell University where they asked people over 70 what they regretted most in their lives. You'd expect them to talk about mistakes, the wrong jobs, the bad investments, the words they shouldn't have said. But they didn't. Most of them said they regretted what they didn't do, the dreams they never chased, the risks they never took, the ideas they kept to themselves because they were scared, the goals they abandoned because they didn't feel motivated. That's the price of regret, the weight of what could have been. Discipline hurts now, but it sets you free later. Regret feels easy now, but it chains you later. Every day, you get to choose which pain you'll carry. The one that makes you stronger or the one that keeps you stuck. And here's the truth. Motivation won't always be there. Some days you'll wake up inspired, other days you won't. But discipline doesn't care about feelings. It cares about results. It's the voice inside you that says, keep going even when it's hard. So when life tests you, when it hurts, when you're tempted to quit, remember this: the pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. One day you'll thank yourself for choosing the pain that built you instead of the pain that broke you. Because motivation may fail you, but discipline will save your life. It sounds strange, doesn't it? The idea that discipline could create freedom. Most people hear the word discipline and think of rules, restriction, pressure, like something that takes away your choices, locks you in a box, keeps you from living freely. But the truth is, real freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Real freedom comes from self-control, from structure, from the ability to direct your life instead of letting life direct you. Discipline isn't a prison. It's the key that unlocks the door. Think about it. When you're disciplined with your money, you don't have to stress about bills, debt, or survival. You're not controlled by every impulse, every sale, every swipe of a card. You can plan, you can save, you can give. That's freedom. When you're disciplined with your time, you're not running around chasing every distraction. You start to live intentionally. You decide what matters. You have space to think, to grow, to rest, not because life slows down, but because you've learned how to manage it. That's freedom. When you're disciplined with your habits, you stop being a slave to your emotions. You don't need motivation to move. You've trained yourself to move regardless. You own your actions instead of your actions owning you. And that right there is the highest form of freedom. Discipline doesn't take your life away, it gives it back to you. Most people confuse freedom with comfort. They think freedom means doing whatever feels good in the moment, eating what you want, sleeping in when you feel like it, spending time however you please. But comfort without control leads to chaos. And chaos is not freedom. It's bondage disguised as pleasure. Because when you live only by impulse, you end up trapped by your own habits. You lose control of your health, your focus, your direction. Discipline breaks that cycle. It teaches you that every no you say to weakness is really a yes to your future. Look at anyone who's achieved greatness, a musician, an athlete, a leader, a teacher. Their success didn't come from freedom to drift. It came from discipline to focus. The athlete trains every morning, not because they're forced to, but because they've learned that the discipline of practice creates the freedom to perform. The musician practices scales for hours, not to restrict creativity, but to free it. The discipline of repetition gives them the ability to express themselves without hesitation. That's what discipline does. It creates space for excellence. And when you live with that kind of discipline, something powerful happens: peace. You start to feel calm because you're no longer reacting to life, you're directing it. You start to trust yourself because you know you'll follow through. That's a kind of freedom money can't buy. The freedom to look in the mirror and know you're in control of your life. Discipline doesn't bind you, it builds you. It doesn't trap you, it transforms you. Discipline isn't the enemy of freedom, it's the foundation of it. Because only when you have control over yourself do you truly have freedom in your life. Every single morning when you open your eyes, the battle begins. Before your feet even hit the floor, two voices are already waiting for you. One whispers softly, "You deserve a break. Take it easy. You've done enough." It sounds comforting, tempting, even reasonable. That voice knows exactly how to talk you into comfort. But there's another voice, quieter, stronger, the one deep inside that remembers the promises you made to yourself. That one says, "You promised yourself better. Get up. Keep going." And every morning, without fail, you have to decide which one wins. Life is built on those tiny choices, the ones no one sees. You can't always control what happens around you. You can't control the weather, the economy, or the circumstances that come crashing into your life. You can't control the traffic, the setbacks, or how people treat you. But you can control how you respond. You can control your discipline, your effort, your attitude. And that right there, that's your superpower. That's what separates the ones who keep moving forward from the ones who stay stuck. You see, discipline isn't something that just happens once in a while. It's a decision that repeats itself every single day. Every day you either choose progress or comfort. You either choose to stand tall or to sit back. And the truth is, most people lose not because they're not capable, but because they stop choosing. They let that first voice win, the one that says, rest a little longer, you'll do it later. But later becomes never, and never becomes regret. You have to understand, discipline is power. Not the kind that shows off, but the kind that stands firm when everything else is shaking. The kind that refuses to break when life pushes hard. When you learn to choose discipline over excuses, you start to take back control of your life. You start to realize that no matter what chaos is happening out there, what truly matters is what happens in here, inside your mind, inside your heart. That's the battlefield. That's where winners are made. Every morning is a test, and the test is simple. Will you do what you said you would do, or will you let yourself off the hook? Will you honor your word even when no one is watching? Discipline doesn't shout. It doesn't demand applause. It shows up quietly, consistently, ready to go to work. And each time you choose it, you build strength, not just physical strength, but mental, emotional, spiritual strength. So when that alarm goes off, when that doubt creeps in, when that lazy voice starts whispering again, remember your promise. Remember what you're fighting for. Remember that the small choices add up to a lifetime of change. You may not be able to control everything in this world, but you can control you, and that right there is the greatest power you'll ever have. The power to choose discipline every single day, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, especially when it matters most. So don't chase motivation, build discipline, because motivation will fade. It will leave you when things get hard. It's easy to feel inspired when everything's going right, when the sun's shining and life feels light. But when the fire goes out, when the noise dies down, when the applause stops, what are you left with? Discipline. That's who stands beside you when the road gets rough, when you're tired, when no one's cheering for you anymore. That quiet voice that says, keep going, even when everything in you wants to quit. That's discipline. When life gets heavy, and trust me, it will, motivation won't carry you through. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path. Challenge your patience and push your limits. The excitement that once fueled you will fade, and that's when most people stop, but not you. Because you'll understand that discipline doesn't depend on feelings. It depends on faith. Faith in your purpose. Faith in your promise. Faith that the work you're doing, even when it feels invisible, is moving you closer to something greater. Discipline is loyalty to the vision, had long after the emotion you felt has disappeared. It's the strength to show up on the days you don't want to stay focused when no one's watching, to finish what you started simply because you said you would. You see, there's power in that. The kind of power that doesn't need validation or applause. The kind of power that builds character, integrity, and legacy. That's what discipline does. It molds you into someone unshakable. You've got to remember, motivation is the spark that lights the flame, but discipline is the firewood that keeps it burning. When the fuel of excitement runs out, it's discipline that keeps you moving forward step by step, day by day. Because success isn't built in moments of inspiration, it's built in moments of persistence. It's built in those early mornings, those late nights, those times you felt alone but kept going anyway. That's where the real growth happens. That's where the real you is forged. So when you feel like giving up, when your energy is gone and your mind tells you you've had enough, that's when discipline steps in and whispers. We don't stop when we're tired, we stop when we're done. Those words should live inside you, echo through you, guide you. Because this journey, your journey, isn't about doing it when it's easy. It's about doing it when it's hard. It's about finishing what you started, not because someone told you to, but because you made a promise to yourself that you would. Motivation starts the journey, but discipline finishes it. And finishing, that's what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers. So whatever you're chasing, a goal, a calling, a better version of yourself, don't wait for the fire. Be the fire. Stay committed. Stay consistent. And when you finally cross that finish line, you'll know deep down it wasn't motivation that got you there. It was discipline. Now go finish yours.